Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I'll do another video for you guys and gals. Let me get a sip of my water first. My beautiful radio voice going on. Let's talk about this. All right. I'm going to do a tale of two clients. And here's the thing. Because I had such mixed reviews when I discussed Chris's training, and I put up the transformation pictures and said, yes, this was a client from 5 years ago. We finished this transformation over 4 years ago. He was a young, soon-to-be business owner, was taking over a family business, lived on the West Coast, near the beach. He wanted a certain physique for social status, business purposes, everything else. He wanted to be strong, so we ran him on a conjugate variation. We ran him on a conjugate template, and we added a lot of shoulder work. And then he cleaned his diet up, lost about 10 pounds over the course of the transformation, and we produced a very nice beach physique that would give most people what they want. And and I had one of my clients just chimed in just before making this video. We were chatting about it, and he said, yeah, I'm in this demographic. I mean, I'm in Australia, but the same thing is the same for business and social purposes. I'm trying to get right about where he is. That's what, I've got this client cutting. We've been building a strength base. Now we're trimming him down. And he said, but you're right. I can't believe anyone disagrees with that. He goes, 99% of guys who go to the gym would be happy with that physique. I happen to agree. And that's the point I was making. The fitness world, the hardcore side of it, we get so entrenched in what our standards are that we don't know that what would be considered impressive by the average person. Like what most people would, because impressive also should mean I would like to obtain that. I think I could obtain that with some work, and I'd like to be there. Okay? The average person, even when I put out strength standards, people think, they're like, Blaha, you're crazy. Those strength standards are ludicrous. I'm like, dude, a healthy young man should be able to eventually get to a 315 bench, a 405 squat, 500 deadlift without drugs. Okay? That's natural. Average genetics. Now, and I say that, people think I've lost my mind. How many of you, even in the hardcore side, when I've said that, said, yeah, Blaha, there's no way. Yeah, shut up. I'm like, dude, you should be able to do that. You'd be able to do that and do at least 10 pull-ups. Do a 100-pound weighted pull-up, right? Something like that. But we're biased because we're in the hardcore, and I've come from the hardcore strength world. People in the physique world, they see that, and they're like, you've lost it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip in right here. I'm going to put two clients. Call it tale of two clients. All right. I'm not going to name the other one, but you guys have seen training clips. I put up shorts and reels of the other clients lifting over time, but training in his full-time life. The guy's a full-time personal trainer. He makes his whole living training people. He hired me to get him to the next level on his strength and everything. He looked like that. By the way, looking like that, squatting 550 raw with no sleeves, by the way. Okay, just so that we're clear, he's not weak. He's not just some fluff and pump bodybuilder like people are thinking. Dude was strong. He also ran conjugate programming, just like Chris. Herein lay the issue. Does anyone realistically think you're going to obtain that? Without dedicating your life to bodybuilding and powerlifting as a full-time endeavor, keep in mind he's entrenched in it full-time. You're talking about a guy who literally tracks every single thing that he eats year-round. Talking about a guy who's in the gym full-time because he's training clients full-time, like 50 hours a week. He's training people. So he's on his feet, moving and then lifting. He maximizes his recovery through every means possible. Every means possible. So for a guy like him, there are no limits. It's like anything and everything to be the best at what I'm trying to do. Up to and including, even though he's a trainer, hired me to coach him. All right. That is not obtainable. And the hardcore people who would say, well, that's impressive, because I don't care where you stand in the bodybuilding world, you're not going to say that guy's not impressive. You can't say that. I was walking around at like 210, that lean with those proportions. Okay? That's impressive. but his entire life revolves around it. He lives training and eating. His whole life revolves around it. It's his whole business. Okay? So, and again, do whatever it takes. So yeah. Plus the guy's obviously got good genetics on top of it. I mean, realistically, the average guy is probably not going to look like that. They're just not. So you have that, and then people who are over here, and it's funny because tons of people chimed in and said, no, I agree, man, people would like that. And the people who didn't think it was good, well, why would anyone hire a coach or a trainer for that? Really? You don't think there's tens of thousands of people right now who are paying personal trainers who would love to look like that? How delusional have we become in this community to where we don't understand that what Chris had there, the average guy who joins a gym right now would look at that and go, I would really like to be there. Okay? And they could be. That's a year of really, really hard work. Okay? We've completed all his new gains, worked on proportions a little, got his shoulders wider, dieted him down to a nice, healthy, athletic body fat, not lean, not ripped, but a healthy, lean body fat. You know, he's about 15% there. That's the nice middle of the healthy, athletic range. Okay? That's a good beach body. And I can tell you right now, the average girl, or even the average guy, if they're into other dudes, I'm not going to, be biased here. They're going to look at that and say, yeah, dude has a nice body. Guy clearly works out. He's clearly in shape. Okay? And he actually trained hard. Because keep in mind, we got there in a reasonably short period of time. I didn't have to work with him for 3 years to get that. It was about 8 months. And, I had different progress pictures along the way. I actually pulled up a bunch of his old lifting clips midway through, and I put them in a folder because I still have them. I keep all that stuff. I have a lot of it still. I still have them, so I might make a video and kind of explain what we did for him, because I've had a couple of people ask me if I would. But I mean, again, herein is the point that people don't get. We are so entrenched in what Instagram and the bodybuilding world and powerlifting world have shown us that we don't know what's realistic. We don't know what's reasonable. And if we don't know what's reasonable, how are we going to give advice? And a lot of you people who are chiming in with that, how are you ever going to coach anyone? I hope you're not going to be a trainer. Because if you are going to train people and if to find enough people for you to make enough coaching to actually make your bills, you're going to be doing a lot more of those sort of transformations than you are guys who are getting ready for a bodybuilding stage or getting ready for worlds in powerlifting. Okay? Most of you out there, you're not going to be able to pay the bills off that. I don't even pay the bills off my strength athletes. They're almost a niche project inside of my coaching. The physique transformations or base building will always be most of your coaching and your training. They will always be the majority. People have lost sight of this, and they've lost sight of what's reasonable. They've lost sight of what, to the average person, when we're so unfit, I mean, to look like Chris, to many guys right now, would be a dream. And I think we've lost sight of that. Because we're all like, everyone 5 years into their gear use should be at a certain level. And they're not thinking, hey, what's a good physique for someone who doesn't use anything? Who's been training 2 or 3 years and just wants to look good. They want to look good at the beach. They just want to be fit. And why is anyone calling that mediocrity? When we live in a society right now with the obesity rates and the out of shapeness that we have, Statistically speaking, guys like Chris are already in the upper tier. That's technically elite in terms of fitness compared to the average guy walking around right now. That's elite. That is the top 1%. And all of you are thinking of the top 1% in the hardcore lifting world. Okay? And I get that. I strive for those sort of goals in a lot of ways. Right? I'm trying to get my physique better. A lot better. I've worked on things like, let's deadlift. If I deadlift over 600 pounds, I'm at almost 50. You know, I get it, believe me, guys. But you can't project that onto everyone else. We have to get people fit. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. I'll talk to you.